Alright, so I asked Chatgpt to make the official match ratings for the Blue Lock vs U20 Japan game, and here's how it went. And no, I did not just simply tell Chatgpt to give me the ratings, as that would just result in bad and inaccurate ratings. What I did do though is get ChatGPT's official ratings by going through the whole Blue Lock vs U20 Japan game, and then I wrote down the entire play-by-play along with everyone's stats like shots, passes, tackles, and interceptions, and I gave it all to ChatGPT to generate the ratings. And yes, this did take a long time. So now that that's out the way, let's get into the ratings. Starting off, we got the player with the lowest rating out of everyone in the game. We have Moroku Darai from the U20 Japan team with a 6.0 rating. And I'm not gonna lie, this rating might be generous, because this dude literally had no impact during the whole game. Because besides blocking Otoya from running in behind at the beginning of this game, this man literally did nothing else besides get absolutely cooked by Barou. Next up on the list, in 25th place, we got another U20 Japan player, and it's Hayate with a rating of 6.2. For Hayate, this dude also did basically nothing, and the only reason he has a higher rating than Darai is because he didn't get exposed as bad on defense, and he did complete one pass during the game. Alright, next we have two players tied for 23rd place, and one of them is Watasuki with a 6.4 rating. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be surprised if anyone knows who this guy even is, because he actually did nothing during the game. I mean, he even got like no screen time whatsoever, and to be honest, that's probably the reason why he got subbed off during halftime, because he literally wasn't doing a single thing to benefit the U20 Japan team during his time on the field. Next on this list, we have the other player tied for 23rd place, which is Neru with the same rating of 6.4. Now, out of all the ratings given out to each of the players, this one honestly might be the most generous one of them all, because this guy's most notable thing he did during the game was constantly getting cooked by Yukimiya. I mean, this dude Neru stopped Yukimiya once at the start of the game, then after that, he just forgot how to play soccer and started getting fried by Yukimiya on a repeat. I mean, even Bachira had to join in on the fun on cooking this man later on in the game. In 22nd place, with the rating of 6.8, we have Fukaku, the goalkeeper of the U20 Japan team. I think everyone can agree on this low rating for him, because he only had one save during the whole game, and he allowed 4 goals in, which is honestly a pretty bad ratio, especially when you consider the amount of blocks the U20 Japan defenders had. I mean, even if half of those shots weren't blocked, who knows how many more goals Blue Lock would have scored on this man. And now we move on to 20th place, where from here on out, we have players who at least played decently and did not have a complete stinker during this game. And in 20th place, we have another tie with 2 center backs, which is Ryu and Neo with a rating of 7.1. This rating is quite fair in my opinion, as these two didn't do too much during the game, and they didn't really have that much of an impact, but they were not liabilities for their respective teams. Blue Lock 最速の韋駄て風穴開けろお嬢 Moving on to 19th place, we have Chigiri with a rating of 7.3. Chigiri receives this rating as he did have a good sprint into the attacking third, even dribbling past Aiku, which the Blue Lock players were having trouble with, but his rating couldn't be set any higher because he did have an early exit during the game after being subbed off for Hiyori. Next in 18th place, we have Cho with the rating of 7.4. Cho, to be honest, didn't really do much in the game, except he had some good build-up play with Teru during one of the U20 team's counterattacks, which is why he has a rating higher than people like Neo. Next, we have a three-way tie for 15th place, as all of these players had a rating of 7.5. These three players are Otoya, Eru, and Nico. Personally, I think Nico deserves a higher rating and he should not be tied with people like Otoya and Teru, but because he ended up fouling Shido just outside the box, which ended up giving U20 a dangerous free kick that they did end up scoring off of, Nico's rating took quite the drop. And as for Otoya and Teru, they did not have too much of an impact on the game besides doing a few passes during build-up play, which is why their rating is at 7.5.
別にかまへんよ、タトゥー班。僕は忍者でも俊足でもないから、他で勝負するね。
In 14th place, we have Yori with a rating of 7.6. Yori was initially subbed on as a right winger and later on moved to right wing back to make room for Barou when Barou got subbed on. Yori performed consistently in both these roles, providing a key pass to Nagi as well as working well with Karazu in the midfield, earning him a rating of 7.6.
いざフローへ自分のベストパフォーマンスの一歩先へゴー重心右速いまだ打てないギアを上げろバロー君が作ったこのカオスがあるからできるステップフルスピードで落ロケださっきまでよりタッチが細かい人間という障害物を利用してかいくぐるストリートサッカーのドリブルスタイルか
Moving on, we have Yukimiya in 13th place with the rating at 7.7. Yukimiya played extremely well as he was consistently dribbling around Neru in the 1v1 on the wing, creating many shooting opportunities, although they did often end up being stopped by Aiku in the end. Believe it or not, Yukimiya was actually one of the few players who could have had an exceptionally high rating. The only thing that stopped him was his lack of ability to finish his chances that he got.
分かってんじゃん小判ザメくせえ愛しさいに言われた通り動いてやってるだけだ
Next, for 11th place, we have another tie, and it's between Reo and Sendo with the rating of 7.8. Both these players played well, with Reo having multiple crucial stops to keep Blue Lock in the game, and Sendo, who despite missing a good chance at the start of the game, played exceptionally well as an attacking midfielder, supporting Shido as a striker.
守ってばっかで終わるかいボケ殺すいい位置だ殺し屋貸し位置な出せや赤いのボールは密集のややマイナス一人フリーだ完璧やお嬢ギリ狙えるシュートレンジごっつぁん
And with that, we are now into our top 10. So in 10th place, we have Karazu with the rating of 8.0. Karazu did play well as a defensive midfielder as he had both defensive and offensive contributions and was constantly involved with build-up play for the Blue Lock 11 side, which is what gave him this rating.
ナイスレオお前の対応で選択肢絞れたその体勢から狙えるのはこっち側上か下どっちだギャンブルもうかん来たカモン上かよドッカーまだワンチャン社長公なんじゃそりゃ
And now we move on to 9th place, where from here on out, we're going to see the big performers during the Blue Lock versus U20 Japan game. And to start us off, we have the Blue Lock goalkeeper, Gagamaru, with the rating of 8.5. Gagamaru played extremely well, making multiple crucial saves to keep Blue Lock in the game. Gagamaru would have had one of the highest ratings out of all the players in the game. Conceding 3 goals significantly hurt his rating, but seeing as his rating is still 8.5, despite conceding 3 goals, just shows how well he played during this game.
世界一以外いらない肩すらクソメガネこのエゴはあんたが教えたことだろそうか潔陽一じゃあこっからは俺にも予想できない未曾有のプランでいく出番だジョーカーバローショー待ちくたびれたぜ下手くそ
Next up, we have Blue Lock Super Sub Barou with a rating of 8.6 in 8th place. Despite coming off the bench for Blue Lock late into the game, Barou still had a massive impact on the game, changing the entire flow for both teams. Barou was able to score a goal after taking only 2 shots because of his limited minutes, which is why he earned a high rating of 8.6.
Bachira! 俺見ろ! こっち! モブども! シザス、鬼フェイク。パス 2%、ドリブル 98% だろ。お前らエゴイストは来てみろよ。この前でシュートモーションと思うぜ。スマッシュモンスターリフト。なんじゃその技。出ろキーパー。うらこれが俺の挑戦的集中モンスタートランス。
Moving on, we have Bachira in 7th place with a rating of 8.7. Many of you may be surprised to see Bachira this high up on the rating, considering that he did not score or provide an assist during the game. But he is well deserving of this rating because despite playing a more defensive role as a left wing back, Bachira still had the most amount of successful dribbles compared to any player on Blue Lock. Bachira had a total of 6 successful dribbles, playing an important role in Blue Lock's offense, being very effective in Blue Lock's build-up play, and even taking the ball all the way up the pitch himself, going on a solo run that he would have scored if not for Sendo's goal line clearance.
いける。俺たちのサッカーはこいつらにも突き刺さる。マジかよ。なんでいる。嘘。届くそれ。
Next up, we have the highest rated player who did not score a goal or an assist during the Blue Lock vs U20 Japan game, and that player is Aiku in 6th place with a rating of 8.9. Aiku was the U20 Japan's team's 3rd best player during this game. Aiku pretty much single-handedly carried the U20 Japan team's defense, as the rest of the U20 Japan team's defense players had the lowest ratings out of everyone during the game, with only one of them managing to get a rating above a 7. Aiku played a crucial role, constantly stopping Blue Lock's attacks and blocking multiple shots, earning him 6th place with an 8.9 rating.
マジか。おっさん邪魔。硬い山だ。ナギ。ドチャンス。打たせないよ。なんだな。シュートモーション。瞬間吸収。タップリフト。からのジャンピンターン。はじめまして日本。俺が凪誠士郎だ。
Now moving on, we have the top 5 players. And in 5th place, we're gonna have our first player breaking past a rating of 9, and it's Nagi with a rating of 9.1. Operating as an attacking midfielder, Nagi played a crucial role for Blue Lock, providing key passes as well as putting Blue Lock on the scoreboard when everyone else was struggling to score. Nagi had a near flawless game, providing great offensive support, but he did lack a bit defensively when compared to the other central attackers at Blue Lock like Rin and Isagi, who despite playing either the same position or higher up on the pitch than him, ended up doing significantly more than him by defensive aspect.
俺のサッカー細胞がスパークしろと肉踊る。入ったかフローへ。ビッグバンドライブ。さあ、俺をまだ知らない世界のクソどもに告げ。俺のゴールを、俺の遺伝子を。絡め！
Next, for 4th place with a rating of 9.2, we have Shido. For Shido, despite only playing for half the game, he had a monstrous performance, scoring 2 goals for the U20 Japan team. As soon as Shido was subbed on into the game, he was constantly causing problems for the Blue Lock 11's defense, and they could barely handle him. Shido was continuously wreaking havoc for the backline of Blue Lock, which earned him this rating of 9.2.
飛べシナプス俺の超反応ガガマルパンチナイスガガマルまだインプレー意図さえ言ったぞもう走ってる来るぞもう一回クロス警戒角度はないしのぐ
In 3rd place, we have the older brother of the Itoshi family, Sai, with a rating of 9.4. Sai was basically the U20 Japan's team's only source of creativity during the game. He had a total number of 18 passes and 10 successful dribbles during the game, and nobody else in the game came close to any of these stats besides Isagi with a total of 14 passes. And on top of that, Sai also had 1 goal and 1 assist to go along with it. Sai also ended up putting good defensive stats, racking up 1 tackle and 2 interceptions to top it off. Sai could have had an even higher rating, but he did lose a bit of points because he lost the ball in the defensive third near the end of the game, which took a little bit off of his rating.
Outside spin. Blue Lock.
In 2nd place, we have Ren with a rating of 9.5. Ren was selected as the main focal point of Blue Lock's attack, and he had 3 successful dribbles and 9 total passes in this game, also providing both a goal and an assist for Blue Lock. Also, despite being a striker for majority of the game and only dropping down to being an offensive midfielder for a brief moment, Ren also provided a good defensive effort, getting 2 tackles, 2 intercepts, and 2 blocks, with one of these stops leading to the ball flying over to Isagi to score the final goal of the game. Unfortunately though, Ren ended up losing his top spot for missing a good goal scoring opportunity earlier in the game when he left a good shooting angle to go off to a worse shooting angle to try and recreate Sai's goal at the start of the game. And lastly, we have the man of the match with a rating of 9.6, Isagi. Despite not being selected as the main man for the Blue Lock squad at the start of the game, Isagi had a massive impact on the game both offensively and defensively, hitting 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 interception, and 14 passes, in addition to scoring the most crucial goal of the game, earning himself the highest play rating during the Blue Lock vs U20 Japan game. Guys, that concludes this video. So if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe, as this style of video does take a long time to do, so the support is appreciated. Also, I'm planning on doing this style of video for the Neo Egoist League from the manga. If you're interested in me uploading that, leave a like so I know.